Chapter 5. What happened in the graveyard? It was midnight. Tom was in bed, but he was not asleep. He lay there, half awake and half asleep. Once he heard a dog bark far away. Then he heard the meow of a cat. Was it a dream or was it real? Meow, meow. It was not a dream. It was Huck. Huck was calling him. Huck was there, waiting for him. They were going to the graveyard. Very quickly and very quietly, Tom dressed himself. He climbed out of the window. He walked carefully along the roof. Now and then, he called, meow, meow. He jumped down to the ground. Tom and Huck then started on their walk to the graveyard. The graveyard was about half an hour's walk from the village. It was on a hill in a very lonely spot. Round it was an old broken fence. The graves were very, very old. Wooden crosses marked the graves. The crosses were so old that they were falling down. Grass was growing everywhere. When the boys got there, a light wind was blowing through the trees. The sound of the wind was very sad. Tom was afraid. He was afraid of the ghosts that were there, and so was Huckleberry Finn. The boys made their way in the darkness to Horse Williams's grave. There they stood waiting. I don't like this place, Tom said. Neither do I, Huck said. Do you think that Horse Williams is listening? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, Tom exclaimed suddenly. Listen, it's the ghosts. They are coming. Oh, Tom, what shall we do? Will they see us? Of course they will. Ghosts can see in the dark like cats. Shh, keep still. Perhaps they won't notice us, Tom whispered. For a time, the two boys stood there silently. Their hearts were beating very fast. Look, look over there, whispered Tom. The ghosts, they're coming for us. They're carrying fire with them. Oh, Tom. Shh. The boys saw three figures moving slowly towards them. One was carrying a lamb. They're coming. They have seen us, Tom. They'll eat us alive. Shh. The figures came nearer. Tom, whispered Huck, they are men. That's Muff Potter's voice, and there's Red Joe with him. Shh. The three men had now reached Horse William's grave. They were only a few feet away from the boys who were behind some trees. They had a small cart with them. In the light of the lamp, the boys were able to see the face of the third man. It was young Dr. Robinson. Here's the grave, the doctor said. Hurry up. You must finish before the moon rises. Come on, hurry. The men started digging. They lifted the coffin out of the grave. Then they broke open the coffin and took out the dead body. They placed it in the cart and covered it. There, Muff Potter said to the doctor, we have finished, but you must give us $5 more. If you don't, we'll leave the body here. But I have paid you, the doctor said. Now, you must pay us another $5, Red Joe said. No, said the doctor. I shan't give you a single cent more. I've paid you enough already. Listen, said Red Joe. Pay us that $5 or you will be sorry. I know you and I know your father. Your father said that I was a thief and he sent me to prison. I haven't forgotten that. I shall never forget it. Now, those $5. The doctor did not answer Red Joe. He simply knocked him down. Then Potter rushed at the doctor. The two men were soon fighting hard. Red Joe jumped up. He picked up Potter's knife, which had fallen from his belt. He waited for the right moment to strike. The doctor picked up a board from the grave. With this, he struck Potter a hard blow. Potter fell to the ground. Then Red Joe rushed to the doctor. He struck at him with Potter's knife. The knife went deep into the doctor's chest. He fell to the ground, dead. By this time, the moon had risen. The boys saw the terrible fight clearly. Then the moon went behind a cloud and the boys crept away in darkness. When the moon came out again, Red Joe was standing over the two bodies. He bent down and took some money from the doctor's pocket. He put the knife in Potter's right hand. After a time, Potter moved. He groaned and then he sat up. He looked around him. He saw the doctor's body. Then he saw the knife in his own right hand. He dropped it at once. "Oh, Joe, what have I done?" he asked in a trembling voice. "You have killed him, Muff." "Killed him? I? But," Muff rubbed his aching head, "I can't remember. I just can't remember. We were talking about those $5. Then there was a fight. Yes, I can remember that. Then he hit you with a board. You struck him with your knife. He knocked you down, but you killed him, Muff." "I was drunk," Potter said. "I didn't know what I was doing." "You won't tell anybody, will you, Joe? Promise you won't tell. Promise." Potter fell on his knees in front of Red Joe. He begged him again. "Promise me, Joe. Promise you won't tell." "I won't tell," promised Red Joe. Muff Potter began crying like a little child. "Stop that!" cried Red Joe angrily. "Come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. You go that way, I'll go this." Both men ran away from the graveyard, but Potter's knife was still lying at the side of the dead doctor.